global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Right now, the case of Nnamdi Kanu is receiving serious attention from all quarters. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. A day before, we've heard of what Edwin Clark, the leader of Igbo people, is doing to ensure that Bola Tinubu at least respond to the political solution suggested concerning Nnamdi Kanu. He says that he should speedily talk to the Attorney General of the Federation for the required things to be done so that Nnamdi Kanu can be released, because his release is overly due. But then Ohanes and Igbo have come out to tell Nigerians something very interesting about those who are behind Nnamdi Kanu still being kept in detention. And they seem to suggest the time that they want him to stay in detention up to, and that really has triggered concern from different quarters. Now, according to the news, Apex Igbo Sociocultural Group Ohanes and Igbo has accused Southeast governors, Igbo leaders, and National Assembly members of conspiring to extend the detention of leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, until 2027. In a statement issued by the Factional Secretary General of Ohanes and Igbo, Mazi Kechiku Izuzoro, the organization blamed the Southeast governors for the deteriorating security situation in the zone. The organization stated that the Southeast governors and certain Igbo leaders had not provided the essential assurance required to explore political resolution for the release of Kanu. The body expressed disappointment that certain Southeast governors and Igbo leaders merely took photos with Kanu at the DSS facility rather than actively seeking political solutions for his release. The statement partly reads, "Say Ohanes and Igbo decries and bring to light the plot by Southeast governors, Igbo elders, and National Assembly members to prolong Nnamdi Kanu's detention until 2027. The failure of some Southeast governors to utilize their political ties to advocate for Kanu's release is regrettable and underscores self-interest over communal welfare." Ohanes and Igbo underscored a crucial need for unity and cooperation among Southeast governors and esteemed Igbo personalities such as Chief Emeka Anyakupa Bitu Ukiwe, Senator Ike Nwachukwu, and others in providing the federal government with assurance regarding Nnamdi Kanu's future conduct post-release. Regrettably, it appears some Southeast governors and Igbo elites have chosen to exploit Nnamdi Kanu's detention for personal gains, political bargaining, and the pursuit of political relevance. Ohanes and Igbo expresses deep concern over the behavior of Southeast governors, senators representing religious leaders, traditional rulers, and other prominent Igbo figures who prioritize visit to Kanu in detention over seeking his release and addressing the pressing security challenges in our region. It is paramount for Ndibos to hold Southeast governors, Igbo leaders, National Assembly members, and traditional rulers accountable for the extended detention of Nnamdi Kanu and refrain from laying blame on the federal government or President Tinubu. The federal government awaits a united chance and commitment from the Igbo community to facilitate a potential release of Nnamdi Kanu. This is a call on all stakeholders in the Southeast to put aside personal ambition and unite in the effort to secure Kanu's release and address the security challenges in the region. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has been appealed to by the leader of the John Nation, Edwin Clark, to direct the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, to file a nolle prosequi for the release of the leader of the independent indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Clark urged Tinubu to ask the Attorney General of the Federation to file it for him to be released speedily, noting that his freedom on political grounds was long overdue. Now, this is really interesting, and at this juncture, one will begin to consider some of the things that have been said by these Ohanes and Igbo. He took out time to spell out certain things that are behind it, and also talked about the behavior of Southeast governors, senators, representatives, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and other prominent Igbo figures. Nobody seems to be prioritizing the release of this man, which means they're comfortable with what is going on in the Southeast. How can you esteem your personal gain, your political bargain, and the pursuit for political relevance over the release of a man whose impact is so communal that if not taken seriously, it will continually lead to the death of so many people. Now, guess what? Right now, there are some persons who are parading themselves as possibly standing tall for IPO, but actually, they are the ones wishing to see that man languish in that place. I'm telling you, they are the people who are really wishing to see him stay there. So every time that the federal government, or possibly there's going to be consultation for him to release, they trigger wahala, and the next thing, the federal government will turn their back. I feel that at this juncture, if some key stakeholder who have a political relationship with Bola Ahmed Tinubu decides to meet him one-on-one and tell him, I take responsibility over this person. If you release him, I can assure you that he is not going to allow any trouble any longer in the southeast. I think these things can be settled once and for all because this issue is causing a lot. Though I know that the federal government themselves are desirous of peace at a point because Nnamdi Kanu had already said that the pursuit for the independence of Biafra cannot be stopped at any point. I don't know if that is the basis for them keeping it as long as now because that means that Nigeria will be divided, which most of them already know that if Nigeria is divided, it will stall their political progress. Possibly, it will also stall their looting capacity. It will stall a lot of things about them. So they don't want that to happen. So what do? They do everything within their power to ensure that he stays there until they fulfill their political dreams. I believe some of them, maybe some of these governors who are eyeing the position of presidency, possibly they believe maybe by the time they get to the position of a president, they will do all within their power at the last year of their presidential position to push for, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I don't understand, but guess what? It's becoming too long. This guy is like a political prisoner. What has he done? Now, a few days ago, we saw what happened where the man in charge of Meiti Allah, they were released without any struggle. And everyone were like, if this guy is released without any struggle, why is it that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still being kept there? Though some people came out with the notion that the Meiti Allah Cattle Corps president had never said anything about killings and all of that. He may have done it in the secret, but there are no provable evidence to the fact that he has said it. You understand? While the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, most of them have long lists of the things that he has been saying, though those things will make great meaning to the Southeasterners or even to the people who are seeking for political referendum. Most people believe that those things had injured Nigeria a great deal. That's why they are doing this. And most of them said Simon Egba, if they get him now, that's the same thing they'll say they should be released and all of. Nobody's looking at what he's doing and the havoc he's creating and all of that. So, but then looking at it from the general point of view, I feel that if we go by the law, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has over time been given some legal grounds for release. The big question is, why is he not being released? Well, for example, look at what is going on in the southeast. Some time ago, when he was he was supposed to be released on the basis of bail. All of a sudden, the whole thing was crashed and everything got messy, and that was the end of it. I mean, it's causing a lot of trouble in the southeast, and until that issue is being solved, there is no way, insecurity and also the activities of this UGN will come to an end. We are losing a lustrous sun every day. That land is bleeding every day. It's not good for Nigerians, it's not good for the Southeasterners, it's not good for the future generation. Don't forget, this act that is going on is leaving grief in the heart of the Southeasterners. The faster we push for the release, the better.
Global happenings today.